It was a wild card weekend, and we're going to get into all of it today on Locked On NFL Scouting.
You are Locked On NFL Scouting with the Draft Dudes, your daily podcast for NFL and college football scouting. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's better than this? It's guys being dudes here on the Locked On NFL Scouting podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. We're the Draft Dudes. I'm Joe Marino from Locked On Bills. He's Kyle Crabbs from Locked On Dolphins, and we are your NFL experts here with you daily to talk team building across the league on the Locked On NFL Scouting podcast with the Draft Dudes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Want to issue a big thank you, shout out, and welcome to our everydayers. Those of you who never miss a single episode, we appreciate y'all being here very, very much. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel is officially in playoff mode every game day during the NFL playoffs. FanDuel is giving customers even more ways to get in on the action. Visit FanDuel.com to get started.
Joe, happy Victory Monday.
Thank you.
To Joe Marino, the Buffalo Bills, the San Francisco 49ers, the Chicago Bears, the Los Angeles Rams, and the New England Patriots. One left to go.
I have two high-level thoughts that I think kind of cover just about every playoff game before we get very specific with them. The first one is that it felt like these games, notwithstanding the Chargers and Patriots, kind of had like a defensive struggle for 3 quarters. Everyone's trying not to lose the game in the first 3 quarters, and then the haymakers come in the fourth quarter. And they were really fun, all of these games. And the other piece just at a high level is, for as much as we talk about running the ball and stopping the run and how it matters at this point in the season, it wasn't that, man. It was about quarterbacks making throws.
Yep.
That's what these playoff games are about to me.
Yeah, and you had just about every variety of game where the first 4 games that were played, we had the game-winning drives, and the team that was losing in the 2-minute warning or the final 3 minutes was not the team that won the game. Whatever
it's
it
crazy.
was,
Crazy.
But the way in which these games unfolded was really, it's such an entertaining weekend of football. Usually it's the divisional. You remember divisional round? Usually it's there's really high level football because it's all these teams, they've kind of earned being in this place by being a 1 seed, or they've already won a playoff game. It felt like we got 2x divisional round football this year in the wildcard round. And I think that's a testament to some of the parity across the league.
Yeah, no question. We were excited about how wide open it was, and it felt that way when things got started, which they did in Charlotte with the Rams and Panthers. And I know the Rams won the game, dude, right? But don't you kind of come away from this one feeling like, man, the Panthers competed. They really fought hard. I certainly had some mistakes, but I thought Bryce Young hit some big throws down the stretch. He hit some big throws against Tampa. They lost the game, but it felt like over those 2 games that they lost recently, it's like their defense just didn't have it at the end. But their quarterback gave him a chance. And then, of course, a horrible drop there by Horn. But yeah, I feel like I came away really impressed with how Carolina competed in that game and really how the Rams couldn't get out of their own way at times. I mean, what if Puka doesn't break up that interception? You know what I mean?
Right.
The Rams seem a little vulnerable right now.
Yeah, they played everybody week 18 with the intent of, hey, we need to
play better.
We need to play better. We need to stay in our process and not take the time off. They head to Chicago, and they'll play the Bears in the second round. San Francisco's reward for that win against Philadelphia is a short week because that's the Saturday and NFC game against the Seattle Seahawks coming off a bye as a rematch from the Week 18 game there. But yeah, Puka Nacua is stellar early in this game, right? And then at what point do we have a Kobe Parkinson conversation?
Let's have it. I mean, he's had a great year.
He has. This was not just, wow, what a great body control catch along the sideline for Kobe Parkinson. He's with the Rams going to 13, and obviously the vision that they had when they draft Terrence Ferguson. Mm-hmm. That's where the focus goes because of the draft pick and the personnel change. But this is enabled and allowed in large part because you've got, it was Higbee for a really long time as the 11 personnel guy. Parkinson's, fair to say, the most consistent of these tight ends all year long for the Rams, and I think and he blocks too. Yeah.
He's a foundational piece in how they've transitioned offensively. You can't overstate it. It's huge.
He finished this season with 8 touchdowns on 43 receptions, 408 yards. What's his contract situation?
He signed a decent deal a few years ago, but like the context of those numbers is important. Like he's not a primary option in this passing game, right? This is still Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. That's good production.
Yeah. He signed a 3-year, $22.5 million contract extension with the Rams ahead of 2024. So he's under contract through next year.
Be helpful. Carolina, they got to feel good about Tet McMillan and Jalen Coker is, their 1-2 punch in the passing game, but offensive line injuries hurt them all year, hurt them in this game.
Yeah.
Their ability to stop the run, I thought was nice. I think Mike Jackson's been a heck of a revelation for them opposite of J.C. Horn. But I think they got to ask themselves some questions about how they play defense at the end of games to be a little more aggressive and get after these teams.
Yeah, because they had some success pressuring, right? And then they kind of it felt like they backed off a little bit situationally.
Yeah.
And Stafford with hitting the finger on his throwing hand, and you could tell like he just wasn't gripping the ball that well, but then he kind of settled back in, and I don't know if he got shot. I don't know. The pain fade. Like, I don't know what happened, but Stafford got very comfortable towards the end, and that's what allowed them to pull this game out.
So then we watch Packers-Bears, and the Bears are just going to keep doing this, man, right? The 3 quarters, they look like they don't have anything offensively or defensively, and then the 4th quarter happens, and Caleb Williams becomes like an MVP caliber player, and, they get their big stops on defense. It's crazy, man.
What was your biggest takeaway this game? Besides Colston Loveland being what you thought he was. Oh, monster.
My biggest takeaway is that Caleb Williams just keeps turning it on. Like, you just can't count him out. And no matter how bad it looks for 3 quarters. And then you also have Brandon McManus is a huge dud, right? Leaves 7 points on the board.
Yeah.
There's tough. A lot of things
where I have a hard time. I have a hard time really getting after Matt LaFleur too hard in this one. Now, there's a lot of focus on Matt LaFleur in big games and situational stuff right now. Right? It's all the talk in part because LaFleur and like his contract situation, and then it came out this morning. They're going to try to work out a deal. We'll see, right? But they went right down the field the first 3 possessions and scored touchdowns. Right? They were cooking early, and I get that went away, but at the same time, you gotta, if McManus executes anything, they're in a position to at least win the game at the end of regulation, right? At least force overtime if you don't have the missed extra point. And this is probably a very different conversation if that's the case. Now, credit to Chicago making the plays at the end of the game, and when you got to go with tempo, you go with tempo. You somehow managed to survive going for it on inside your own 40-yard line and turning the ball over on downs, and like all kinds of goofy stuff early.
The Packers' last 2 losses to the Bears got to be gut-wrenching, man. Between the Dobbs not fielding the onside kick correctly, and then this, man, where you just feel like normal execution things, a 44-yard field goal for a veteran kicker in the league, like that's got to go through the pipes, man. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to. It's a little bit like the Harbaugh thing with the Ravens, where it's like, man, Harbaugh didn't make all these mistakes, but my goodness, they just don't stop happening.
Right. It was Quay Walker said that. He's like, we've even before I got here, we've kind of organizationally had a hard time with closing out big games. Yeah. I feel for Green Bay though, because with Micah, they went 0-6 down the stretch without Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Pretty relevant piece of information. Tucker Kraft missed the second half.
I know it. Yeah. Then they got offensive line injuries and in the game. Yeah.
It's a tough situation. Now that doesn't take the sting out of being 21-3 and then having it unravel the way that it did. And that's why I think you're in this uncomfortable conversation. Packers.
All right, we got more to do. We'll get to what happened on Sunday here on the other side of it. So folks, be sure to stick with us. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Whether you're starting a new routine or jumping into player projections for the first time, Trying something new can feel like a challenge, but with Prize Picks, it always feels good to be right. With high-pressure football matchups every weekend and elite hoops action almost every night, the action never slows down, and Prize Picks lets you stay in control. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy app that makes watching sports even more exciting by letting you build lineups based on player projections. No drafts, no waiting. Just pick more or less and play your way. Getting started on Prize Picks is quick and simple. The app is easy to navigate. It's going to make watching these games more engaging, especially when you're following individual player performances. And the new early payouts feature is a game changer. If a player starts hot, you can cash out before the game ends. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 on lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 on lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood Prediction Markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood Prediction Market changes the game. It's people moving the action, so when the momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play-by-play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood. Now available across the United States. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Okay, so then yesterday happened. We had Buffalo Jacksonville was the first game, and 2 lead changes in the final 4 minutes, if I remember correctly. The world's greatest tush push.
I guess so. Yeah, you got 10 yards on it?
Yeah. 10.5, really, if you stop and think about it.
On fourth and season.
Fourth and season.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Buffalo had another score that was on 4th down?
They had another big 4th down conversion that led to the Kincaid touchdown earlier. Yes. Yeah. 2 for 2 on 4th downs.
Game was kind of what you hoped it would be. Kind of knowing that Jacksonville maybe had some matchup challenges. Buffalo with the experience. The guy who's been there the most answers the call. That's exactly how you would write it up if you're a Bills fan, and what your script was for if Buffalo wins the game, it's going to be because we kind of overcome some matchup stuff. We have the guy who's going to make the play when all the chips are down. And I think the contrast of those, the 2 quarterbacks, I think is a big reason why Buffalo is still alive in Jacksonville. Their season's over after the wild card round.
We knew the Bills' rushing offense against Jacksonville's rushing defense was good on good, and Jacksonville won that piece. And so it was, how does Josh Allen overcome that? And he certainly did, right? 28 of 35, 273 a touchdown, 2 rushing touchdowns, and the 2 big fourth quarter moments, to put the Bills ahead. And then Lawrence gets his turn and very quickly ends the game with Trey White tipping up the pass into Cole Bishop's hands. And I feel like that was the big difference. The Bills' ability to compete at the catch point. Trevor Lawrence went 18 of 30, so he had 12 incomplete passes. 9 were forced by the Bills. And so I thought that was it. They triggered and cued on the football and took away some opportunities that they had. So Bills defense gets 2 big turnovers, gets a big 4th down stop in the red zone. Josh Allen does Josh Allen things, and they win their first road playoff game since, I think, 92.
Yeah, and you mentioned the good on good, and you mentioned at the very top of the show about teams controlling the line of scrimmage and whatnot. Jacksonville ran for 154.
Yeah.
But you have a missed field goal and you turn the ball over twice. That's how you lose. So you lose game to the Buffalo Bills.
You probably should stay committed to it a little bit more. And I see teams do this all the time with the Bills, where it's just like you're running the ball, but then you stop doing it. You don't have to stop.
It's the psychology effect of the guy that's on the other sideline, right? It's that. How many times do we talk about it with our individual team matchups and crossovers? It's like, oh, we got to call a game to try to score 30 points. Well, you needed 30 points to win this game because Buffalo scored 27.
I mean, I hear that. If it's like, even if it's 3rd and 8, you can run the ball. It's okay. You got a good shot.
3rd and 8, probably not 3rd and 8.
I don't know, man. If Andre Jones is on the field at defensive end, wash him down and take your 4-3 running back to the corner and see if they can outrun 2 35-year-old linebackers in Milano and Shaq Thompson. played well in the game.
Yeah.
That was a little bit hyperbolic, but, point made.
This is a fun game. This is a very fun game. Did you want to add anything else to this one?
Jacksonville's got a lot good going for him. A good-looking coach on both sides of the ball, Campanelli and Liam Cohen. I
don't think I've seen – does Camp even have any interview requests yet? I don't believe I've seen
I'm not sure. Yeah. That defense plays fast and physical, man. Devin Lloyd's going to get all the money in the world, ain't he? Good Lord. Way he affects every component of that defense, and they got some good things going. So, but you got to pay your dues in the league, man. You do. The talk this week was very much hyping up the hot Jaguars and kind of ready to bury the Bills, and well, that's why they play the games. So, another good reminder of how dues have to be paid in this league.
Yep. Eagles, 49ers. Eagles kind of had the flow for most of the game, and then the fourth quarter happened, right? Like,
yeah, man.
A.J. Brown's getting yelled at on the sideline. Big Dom's got to step in. Then A.J. comes out and drops a couple balls, including that one there on the potential game-winning drive. I think everybody's got their hands in the mess in Philadelphia.
The reigning Super Bowl champions. That has been. This has been a.
They do this every other year, though.
I know. So it's like how much should you care? Like
I'm not distressed at all if I'm an Eagles fan, right? Like, you're disappointed that the season's over. You had every opportunity to win the game, but at the end of the day, you've got a team building approach. You got an owner that's willing to spend. You got a team building approach and a general manager that's rebuilt the team several times over. The nucleus of the team's great. You got a great young nucleus on defense.
Exceptional.
There's gonna be some shuffling of the deck chairs on the offensive side of the ball. There's gonna be probably some shuffling. If you run it back with Kevin Patullo again, shame on you. In which case
that won't happen.
I'd be disappointed.
That will not happen, right? Yeah. Like, you just can't do it. They got to get their offensive vibes together, man. That's what it comes down to. Defensively, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Get your offense figured out. You got talent there, man. It's the most expensive offense in the league. Get it done, man.
That's probably what makes it sting a little bit extra, though, isn't it?
Yeah, they won their Super Bowl last year, dude. So
right.
But the 49ers, man, George Kittle, typical 49ers game. You lose a star player early on, George Kittle.
It's rough for George, man.
Dude, it's gut-wrenching. But, I mean, Kyle Shanahan, Robert Saleh, just unbelievably impressive.
Robert Saleh.
I know one of these guys we're talking about is going to be your head coach. We'll figure out.
You think so? You think so? Where I would love to see Robert Saleh land? Baltimore.
No, I don't want that.
Take your hat off.
I know that's me saying it's a good idea. That's
Robert Saleh. And if I'm Baltimore and I'm thinking about coaches and Robert Saleh,
especially that division, man.
Right.
Might be onto something.
He's had a hell, whatever you want to say. He had a hell of a year. Robert Saleh has. And you said about the offensive side with George Kittle, and it's just they just keep on, like the epitome of next man up. And if you're just a fan without a vested interest in the game and you watch the Niners and you say, oh, Fred Warner went down. Oh, Nick Bosa went down. Oh, Brandon Ayuk's out of here. Oh, Trent Williams got hurt for a stretch there. Oh, Brock Purdy got hurt for a stretch there. Oh, now George Kittle has a torn Achilles. They don't care. Next man up. I love it. I love it. Yeah, especially transitioning from the team that they were and how expensive they were to offloading a bunch of those players. Now you got a bunch of young guys that are playing. Like, you're number 2 in the NFL in dead cap this year. And you just got a bunch of young guys that are stepping up and playing and making the most of their opportunities and finding ways to win games. A fun team to observe from afar with a casual vested interest in whether or not the game turns out one way or another.
Get their chance against Seattle next week.
Yeah, have fun with that, right? Like, get to go back to Seattle.
I'm not counting them out, baby.
For another war against the Seahawks.
All right, we got more to do. We'll touch on this Chargers-Patriots game and get up to speed on the head coaching searches across the league. Folks, be sure to stick with us. The Wildcard round is here, and FanDuel is officially in playoff mode. Every game day during the NFL playoffs, FanDuel is giving customers even more ways to get in on the action. Because right now, every NFL playoff game day, FanDuel users get a profit boost pack waiting for them inside the app. Each game day, you'll see a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts you can apply to the bets you like most. You can open your profit boost pack first thing on game day and see what boosts you want to apply. And the boosts will let you lean into your game day instincts, whether you're backing momentum, defenses, quarterback play, or coaching. I took advantage. I woke up on Sunday. I saw the Bills were now underdogs to the Jaguars, so I took the Bills money line and the under. We got them both. Every play is going to feel bigger, and the boosts will make your bets feel that way too. Check it out. Visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day.
Patriots just kind of
slobber knocker game, man. Wasn't it?
Yeah, it's of all of the assistant coaches that have kind of had their names in the interview cycle, kind of tie these two talking points together here. We just got done throwing flowers at Robert Saleh, but I think Jesse Minter can hold his head high going into the offseason with his interview opportunities, holding New England to 16 points. It took a hell of a throw from Drake May to get the touchdown. Like that throw was an outstanding throw from him to kind of put the game on ice. Both teams' leading rusher, Joe, was who?
It's a quarterback, right? Yeah.
The quarterbacks.
Yeah. It wasn't the run the ball this week, dude. It just wasn't.
It was not the week to run the football. The quarterbacks had to go out here and make plays. Drake May made a few, had 66 rushing yards, a 37-yard rush, the big touchdown pass. Both these guys kind of got the snot knocked out of them, 5 and 6 sacks taken from each guy, respectively. I think I saw Herbert was pressured 30 times.
Yes,
31 dropbacks. So, old school game is what it felt like to me.
Sure. Absolutely, man. Physical, and quarterbacks just getting knocked all over the place. So, Chargers, I mean, look, they
get healthy.
You got to get healthy. I don't think you're far away. A lot of redeeming things, but New England gets an opportunity to play the winner of the game tonight, right? I got to feel decent about their chances in either situation, bringing Houston up to their place or Pittsburgh. Then they'll have a chance to go to the AFC Championship game if they can handle that. So this New England season been really impressive, man. Drake May gets it done.
I'm glad that we're not doing the thing with Justin Herbert today on the show. 0-3 in the playoffs.
Oh, they've had
If man, right? It's the superhero meme where they superimpose the costume on him and if on his chest, and multiple things can be true.
Yeah.
There are times where I think Justin Herbert doesn't get the criticism where sometimes it's deserved, but for this team to win 11 games with the offensive line injury, they lost 2 Pro Bowl offensive tackles.
It's a foundational piece of your offense.
That was just a jab at Joe All making the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. Over my head. I was ready to defend.
Comfortably the best starting offensive lineman on the roster. You lost them both very early in the season. Missed double-digit games for both guys. Missed all of the season for the guy you just signed a market contract to. So, they just got to get healthy. I think that's the thing. Is I don't think I learned anything new or the narrative for Justin Herbert in particular should be adjusted in any way in a game like this when you see just how non-functional it was to get a drop back and not be hit or pressured the way that he was in this game.
All right, we got 8 vacancies across the league right now for head coaches.
Yeah, so either you played who are the teams that didn't play a game this weekend?
Oh God.
And also aren't looking for a new head coach?
Dude, that's a freaking great question. The Jets,
the Bengals,
the Jets and the Bengals.
the Colts, the
Chiefs,
the Saints, the Bucks, the Lions, the Vikings, and the Commanders.
It's
and
9
the Cowboys.
teams.
And the Cowboys.
10 teams.
Very exclusive club.
Right.
Almost as many as teams that are looking for a new head coach, and almost as many as teams that play in the playoffs. There were 3 buckets of teams, franchises this weekend in the NFL.
So obviously a lot of interview requests are going across the league. Mike McDaniel interviewing with the Browns.
He got 4.
4 of them, Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, so the NFL Network, they've been at the forefront of the Mike McDaniel perspective of the entire 2025 season.
Mike McDaniel's got some people he's talking to, it feels
so like. He's got the Ravens.
Perfect. Do that.
Do you think of a less appropriate
I think it's
pairing for Mike McDaniel
and
the Baltimore Ravens? The Cleveland Browns, the Tennessee Titans, the Atlanta Falcons.
Let's not make this a Mike McDaniel interview tour segment. What?
No, we won't.
What?
He does have 4.
Yeah, it's impressive. Hey, this guy took the Dolphins to playoffs 2 times, man. I think what I'm most interested in is what vacancies are coming, right? The Matt LaFleur stuff in Green Bay, it feels really real. And then I think we're all kind of interested in maybe how this game goes tonight and what that could mean for Mike Tomlin. And maybe not necessarily because Pittsburgh's done with Mike Tomlin, but maybe Mike Tomlin has his own choice to make as he considers the outlook there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think if those vacancies happen, it's untraditional pathways for both, right? Because LaFleur's under contract. I think the Packers would be foolish. Now, it behooves them to move quickly, right? Because if they're going to get a vacancy, John Harbaugh is a name that's kind of been tied to if the Packers were to open. They're going to try to work it out with Matt LaFleur. Adam Schefter reported that this morning. Everybody's freaking out about the nothing new came of that report.
Right.
They were always going to try to work on an extension.
Yeah.
It's how far apart were the sides? How does the playoff game change the ask from LaFleur / the offer from the Packers? If they can't come together with him being under contract, this sets the stage for somebody to probably be offering draft compensation and paying a top of market coaching contract to Matt LaFleur. That's the avenue in which the Packers job opens up. It's not the fire.
And that's part of what the Packers have to consider. It's not just, do we want to commit longer to Matt LaFleur? It's, well, there's an opportunity cost here because of potentially with the amount of vacancies that exist across the league, there obviously could be some interest in trading for him.
But all this has to happen so fast because LaFleur's got to talk to teams and negotiate a contract. Teams have to talk to other teams. Teams have to talk to the Packers to work out potential compensation.
Yeah.
And you're racing against the clock of if Harbaugh was like, we're going to move on from Matt LaFleur because we think we're going to hire John Harbaugh. Like that would be who we would pivot to.
It's got to move quick.
Now you're also racing against Harbaugh's decision.
Yeah, it's got to happen quick.
So we'll see. The coming days are going to work on it. I know Harbaugh took the weekend off to kind of see how things played out across the league.
Could you imagine the Packers trading LaFleur and then pivoting to Harbaugh? So you feel like you get a really good coach to replace your really good coach, and now you got some draft picks for it too,
right?
Which you kind of need,
right?
It's interesting, right?
Well, and what was the analogy was, I forget who it was, but there's somebody that's associated with this decision that was like the son of whoever traded Joe Montana from the 49ers or whatever, when like they had Steve Young, and like, is it a popular decision to trade Joe Montana to the Chiefs, but it's in the best interest of the organization. So like, I guess whoever's decision this is, there's an association there. I bet I could look up Joe Montana on Twitter right now and it would be one of the top hits.
It was a first round pick in 1993. It became Dana Stubblefield.
That's a name, huh?
Remember him?
Yeah, defensive tackle.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's a good poll.
And then the other one that we mentioned was Pittsburgh, where that's always sounded like if that opens, it's because Tomlin steps aside, with some speculation that could be a sabbatical year for Tomlin.
I know there's a lot of layers to this LaFleur thing and the Packers. You're not trading or moving on from Matt LaFleur so that you can
promote Jeff Hafley.
Yeah, with all due respect, or something like that, or Jesse Minter. This is probably, you think that you're going to get Harbaugh, or I don't know, maybe you love Stefanski, something like that. There's going to be something proven coming in there.
Stefanski, tomorrow we're going to predict all the vacancies that are open. Stefanski's the hardest one for me to nail down.
Right.
Because he feels like he'd be such a great fit in New York, but you can tell that the Giants are really gunning for John Harbaugh.
I don't think I don't know what Harbaugh thinks of that spot. He would pick the Packers over them, right? You would think.
If the Packers was open, apparently he's got a home somewhere in Michigan, like
right
up in that area. So if the Packers job opens, I think that would be where I would pick John Harbaugh to go. But is it going to open? Like it's really fascinating to have this kind of storyline as the foil to the playoff games that were as great as they were.
Well, we'll predict them all tomorrow, right?
That it?
Yeah. Well, what about a quick thought? We have a GM hiring. The Dolphins hired one.
Do.
Maybe we should mention that for just a minute here before we get out of here.
It's really fun when your team does the things that you advocate for them to do in November.
Now it's on your hands too,
It's on my hands too. And I'm happy to wear it. I'm happy to wear it no matter how it plays out.
So what's the why? Why did you want this, and why are you happy that it happened?
John Eric Sullivan, career scout, quarter century in Green Bay with the Packers. Do you know who was in their front office when he got hired? It was like 2003. You know who was in their front office when he got hired?
Elliot Wolf. I don't know.
So Ron Wolf was kind of the architect of that whole front office at the time. Ron Wolf's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I said Elliot Wolf, and I wanted you to know that I meant to say Ron Wolf.
Yeah, you meant to say Ron Wolf.
Yeah.
Right. So in that building, there was Ted Thompson, right, who was the GM. Fair to say Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I'd say.
Resume?
These are some deep polls, man. These are people I have not thought about in a long time.
There was John Dorsey.
Yeah.
Was in that front office.
Buddy boy.
John Schneider was in that front office.
Wow, yeah.
Brian Gutekunst was obviously in that front office because he was the one who took over. Let's see, the greatest scouting tree there was. Reggie McKenzie was in that front office. Alonzo Highsmith, who's currently a senior personnel executive with the Patriots. So Ron Wolf did Ted Thompson with John Dorsey, John Schneider, Brian Gutekunst. These were the guys that, like, the formative years, and then the way in which the Packers team building has always kind of been through the draft and, trying to have really good personnel assessments. I just thought it was a match for, like, the opposite of what the Dolphins have tried to do for 20 years.
Yeah.
And that's why I felt it was a very attractive pairing.
Exciting to see what happens, man.
Let's see who they go with the head coach, because they now have a vacancy there as well.
Maybe Matt LaFleur.
Maybe. Who knows? Kyle Crabbs, Joe Marino. That's it for us. Locked on NFL Scouting. We are done for the day. We hope you come back, see us again tomorrow. We're going to take our shot at pairing all the teams with head coaches. We'll see how that goes. Come on back, see us again tomorrow.